Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Tone's Market Analysis for Wednesday, June 7th. Oh man, as usual, a lot to cover. So much going on in Bitcoin news. Obviously, I've had no time to do absolutely anything, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Quick scheduling update. I will probably be speaking in LA in July. I'll get back to you on that. After my recent photo shoots hit the web, we'll see how many conferences are still interested in associating with me. But one conference that is definitely willing to associate with me is Hackers Congress over in Prague. And I'll finally get to meet Amir Taki. That would be cool. Never met him before. And some of the other players of the game that like to remain anonymous. And I'm actually very curious which of my pictures they are going to use, because they might get creative and use some of my recent pictures. The recent pictures that got me into Forbes magazine, not exactly how I would have liked to have my very first picture in Forbes. Of course, it would have been nice to connect with me and get a comment. It's not like I'm hiding in that hideout, literally. I'm still fairly accessible, as all of you know, as I already have 100 viewers to start the show. And it's not even at a convenient time for our friends in Europe, especially Eastern Europe. But basically, my last 2 days have been spent on Twitter. What was supposed to be spent, learning how to mine and prepare for the user-activated soft fork had been spent dealing with tweets by Roger. And today's tweets from Laura Shin of Forbes. So go ahead and check those out. And yeah, so not good. I'm also becoming a lot more popular, which I'm still trying to figure out how to properly deal with. Prior to this week, I have never had a tweet get 100 likes. I'm not even sure I've ever had a tweet get 550 likes. But I'm now getting, my tweets are now getting are breaking 300 likes. This one did, and wow, I can't believe the bear, where I didn't even tag anything, got over 100 likes. Hey Dennis, big shout out, man! Awesome picture. This one is great. I really wish that the Forbes article used this picture, and so would have others. This picture got over 300 likes. So my tweets are becoming very popular. This tweet will probably get 300 likes. I'm going to talk about this one. This is core developers and their views on BIP 148. All right. Let's yeah. But by the way, when yesterday, I was getting, you see this notifications is ticking up to 5 for the last 24 hours, for the last 48 hours, I would say. I've been getting I don't know, a notification almost every second, right? I was getting 10 to 20 notifications every 2 minutes. So I couldn't even keep up with my own Twitter account. That's how crazy it got. And those that, well, when I turn on my camera later, I might turn on my camera. It's possible I'm still wearing the same shirt that I wore on the last video, which was 2 days ago. Which shows you, what I've been doing for the last 2 days. But that's not going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to take a break from this. I may not even tweet at all. I may not even look at Twitter. I got shit to do, and I need to prepare, because I am planning to film the next Ethereum crypto scam, and I do need to do some work for that, even though it will take away from what I really need to do is get everything lined up for the user-activated soft fork for BIP 148, and I want to shoot a nice long 1 to 2 hour video explaining everything, setting up a node, signaling for BIP 148, mining BIP 148, what I'm doing with my coins, putting them on a Trezor, setting up a phone wallet that pings your own node. I want to do this video for you guys. And this video can't come for another week or two because I'm still waiting for the miner to come in the mail. I still haven't, I'm holding the Trezor in my hand, but I haven't moved any coins to it. So there's a lot of work that I got to do. And I want to get everything done this month because I don't want to take a chance. I don't want to take a chance on the big blockers doing something stupid next month preemptively to deal with the user-activated soft fork. But anyway, look, I guess they say there's no such thing as bad publicity, and maybe people will take the user-activated soft fork seriously. Of course, the picture is being portrayed in the opposite way as it was meant to be portrayed. But you know what? Media will do what the media does, whatever. As far as I know, I didn't break any laws, so let's see what happens. All right, let's jump right into the market. Today was an up and down day in the S&P 500. What I just noticed is that Monday was a 9 count, which would suggest a minor pullback, maybe 1 to 4 day pullback, and then we go all the way up to new highs on a 13 count from below. So this bull market may still have some time to run. Okay, so I personally see this 9 as a start of a new uptrend. Sometimes a 9 is a reversal. Sometimes a 9 is a uptrend. This is a numerical indicator that is very popular on Wall Street. Most of you don't know what it is. It's fairly proprietary. I'm not sure if I'm breaking any trademark laws by showing it, but I did program this semi myself, and I'm not naming what it is because I don't have the time nor the bank account to deal with any legal issues. There you go. I'm sure you guys are resourceful. If you really want to figure this out, you'll figure it out. Okay, next, weekly. Same thing. We're above the previous high. I'm not going to guess when the S&P 500 is going to top, but I will say it's not going to be anytime soon. Gold continues to go up with the S&P 500, which, like I've been saying for weeks, is a very, very strange occurrence. This isn't normal. I'm not fully sure what it means yet. Most likely that the bond bubble is starting to pop and people are going to move their money into anything and everything that isn't connected to government. So private industry, private stocks, gold, not oil, probably. That is kind of connected to government a lot. And also, a new technology is going to render oil useless, and they're finding big oil reserves these days. But gold, sure. Stocks, yes. Real estate, probably, because the government's probably going to jack up the taxes on real estate. And places like the UK, places like others, they're now looking to take away property from people if you don't live there, right? So there goes speculative prices on real estate. If the government's going to take away your property, then, well, A, you don't have property rights, and B, that's clearly not a sound investment. A bunch of real estate that the government's just going to take away from you. So you don't want that. But Bitcoin falls into the zone, and that's probably potentially one of the reasons why Bitcoin's going up. We'll get to that later. All right, let me start closing some of these. So here's the thing, right? Like I've been saying, I didn't really believe in this bullish triangle. This is one of those things where, you know what, sometimes you have to trust your technicals and, leave your ideology at the door. So my ideology has been that gold is going to make a new low below 1,000. And my technicals were lining up with that. Now, when the stock market was going up like 2 weeks ago, and gold made this daily bullish ascending triangle, I put the arrow down, but in my mind, I didn't really believe it. Well, technicals turned out to be correct, which is why sometimes it's better to trust your technicals and have automate and be a machine. If you see a bullish technical sign, you trade it, whether it makes sense or not. I did this with Bitcoin, by the way. I never got scared at any point this entire year, which is why on all of my videos this year and most of last year, I've been bullish Bitcoin and nothing was really scaring me. Well, we'll see what happens later today when I get to Bitcoin. But so gold has met its bullish target and it's pulling back a little bit. But now we're at a double top. And look, as much as I hate to say it, I mean, I'm going to drop these arrows. I have to be bullish gold now, but I'm still scared to trade it. I really, really am. And oh, this one makes no sense. Just delete that. Or you know what? I'll leave that. I'll keep my wrong calls on here. I mean, it's not really cluttering the chart yet. So now we're at the short-term double top, and I'm expecting it to go higher. And then we get to this double top, and I'm also expecting it to go higher, right? So yeah. So now I'm becoming a little more bullish gold. Now this weekly candle is looking dangerous because it's looking like a shooting star at resistance of the Fibonacci, though it is the double top resistance. And you know my rules, double tops are not meant to hold. So right now, as much as it pains me to say, unless this is a very clear shooting star and that takes us back down below this trend line and below this blue Fibonacci line fairly quickly, there's a higher chance that we go up than down at the moment on the weekly chart, okay? Now, I am not ready to put a trade on this yet bullish, and I probably won't. I will probably be scared to go bullish gold until we're above last year's high. I'm sorry, I just don't believe in gold. I don't believe in gold. I still find it hard to believe that the 2015 low is the low for gold. I'm not there yet. Okay. I still think that I still think gold has lower to go. But that's the thing, right? If gold did break out and is really in a bull market, it's okay. I'll buy it at 1,400 and I'll ride it to 3,000, right? I'll ride it to new all-time highs. I'm not going to feel like I'm late because I don't see it yet. Just don't see it. Could be wrong. I just don't see it. All right, let's save that. And let's save that. All right, oil is doing exactly what I've been expecting it to do. After the bullish target was not met, I drew this bearish channel with the weekly candles, and so far so good. I'm expecting oil to be lower, but I don't expect a crash in oil. Maybe after the summer's over. During the summer, oil tends to go up seasonally. So oil might just, slowly continue down. All right. Let's close that. Euro. I'm bullish the euro short term only because, stupid speculation and, what's her name? Merkel will probably get reelected, which I think is somewhat unfortunate. But hey, I don't live there. Not my problem. And again, since I don't really believe in double tops, this yellow line, I would love to see it get broken. I would love to see it go into this 200-week moving average and then completely collapse, which is what I'm expecting. But I wouldn't bet on this. Like, the euro can collapse at any moment. Like, I would not put money on this. I would rather time a good short than try and, you know, play the dead cat bounce. Even if the dead cat bounce lasts, you know, 6 more months or longer. Which also makes this a bit problematic. I've already taken the short trades off the table. These were profitable. And it's not really a double top yet. We're still lower, and then we're lower. And so let's see. So if this week ends up being low and we get back here, like this is a no trade zone right now. If you get back above this yellow line, which I guess I could extend, if it goes back above the yellow line, that means that, you know, the euro is strong for now. And I still don't see a trade there. But, you know, Britain's got to get its shit together and get their elections over with and pull the Band-Aid and get the hell out of the European Union. Okay, Bitcoin. So this week, earlier this week, we had a new all-time high. Everything was looking good. I mean, I'm an idiot myself. Like, but when it was at 2,900, I started shopping around to spend some Bitcoin. And then I got busy. People were texting me, emailing me. That was in the middle of all these tweets. And I never got around to spending any Bitcoin. I never even considered selling Bitcoin. I'm incredibly just busy, guys. And I missed my chance to buy a couple of cool toys and support the Bitcoin community by spending my Bitcoin. Of course, I would have spent my Bitcoin at the high, and it's already dropped like $300. So the people I would have bought my toys from would have been potentially a little bit frustrated, but now the frustration is on me because now I'm going to wait till it gets back to like 3,000 and then look to buy what I wanted to buy. But the miner is on the way, so at least that's good. Okay. Yeah, look, you don't have much time to time this stuff. And when you're dealing with 20 to 30 Twitter notifications every 10 minutes, you know, your attention is somewhat limited to shopping around for things. So, yeah, so now we're coming down, and there's nothing to fear yet on the weekly chart. I mean, we really need some bearish weeks, and we haven't had a bearish week in, you know, since April 10th, and that was a flat week right at resistance. So let's see if this candle is a shooting star candle. The price might rebound end of week. It's hard to tell yet. It's also hard to tell on a weekly chart. So let's wait till I get to, you know, more detailed charts. But yeah, is this something to be concerned about? A price of $300 in the last, what, 36 hours? Yeah, a little, because you don't know if it's going to accelerate. But I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Okay, so here is the here's the daily chart. This is the daily chart of Bitstamp, and Bitstamp and Bitfinex have almost evened out, which is good. And we're having a bad day, and it's understandable considering how high we went. So I am not panicking yet. If you ask me where is a good buy point, just like I did over here when I drew this yellow line, would be at the daily close on the previous high, which is here. Okay, let me not draw it too long, you can always extend it, which is right at 2,400. Okay, in fact, I'm actually going to double click on it, and I'm going to put the coordinates in as 2,400 on Bitstamp, and probably same, sorry, yeah, on Bitstamp, probably same thing on Bitfinex, right? So that if we start to crash right here, I would consider 2400 a decent buy point, the same way I drew this yellow line. Okay. I'm not a prophet, guys. I don't know when the bubble will pop, where the bubble will pop. All I can do is draw support and resistance lines. On Bitfinex, it is also very, very clear 100 right there. That's clear to me. Everyone's different. Okay. So 2400. Now, of course, the last time I drew this, as you can see, we fell below my line, but we're only there for like an hour or two, and then boom. So same here, right? Well, we can fall below the line, but I honestly think that momentum is still strong with Bitcoin, and that would be my buy point on support. And you'll know immediately if it's not working, right? Because then it'll just continue crashing. Okay, it's a big fall though. I mean, we were, like I said, we were at 2,900 just 2 days ago, and I was like, I don't even want to show what I was gonna buy. I'll show it to you guys after I buy. After I put in my purchase, I'll then inform what toys I'm buying with my and how I'm spending some of my Bitcoin. All right, here's the hourly. It's getting a little ugly, but hey, we're in this channel, right? I mean, like, I'm very happy with this channel. And thank you for the commenter who said that I can, as long as there's something visible on the chart, I can continue moving it to the left, right? So this is my channel, and I'm going to talk about, I was finally wrong on a tweet. That was bound to happen. I mean, if we can stay in this channel, I mean, it's impressive, right? Because here is June 28th. So that's probably 30th. And that's July. So by first or second week of July, we're looking at 3,500, right? If we stay in this channel. And we're already flirting with this channel a couple of times. Went back in, had a big correction, went back above it. So we'll have a little bit of a correction, right? So I believe on the other chart, I put 2,400. But on this chart, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend this line. I'm not even sure what it is, but maybe I can, like, how do I make it flat? Oh, I have an idea. So as long as the dotted line is flat. Oh, you know what someone asked me? I don't even know how to do that. Someone said, if I'm using live stream on YouTube, how do I make like a cursor? I don't even know. Like, do I want to mess with this now? Is there a way to make my mouse like a big yellow circle? If anyone knows how I can do that, please let me know, and I hope it's simple, because people that are watching this on their phones can't really see what I'm doing with the mouse. And if I can make this mouse a big yellow circle, like I've seen on other people's videos, that would be great, but I have absolutely no clue how to do that. I'm sure there's an app in Google Hangouts. But anyway, let's get back to the video. Thank you. I have 260 live viewers at the moment. So I'm just going to extend this yellow line. And because we've clearly broken the previous yellow line I would have drawn right here. And the bottom of the channel, maybe nothing, maybe something. I don't know. This channel was very old. It's not really applying right now to the price. But what I can do is, and this is probably stupid of me to do, and I'll probably delete it next week, but I can grab another parallel channel. Wait, should probably expand this a little. Oh. Shoot. Okay. So what I can do, because I'm looking at it, right, is I can do this. It's not perfect. Yeah, no, I don't know what I'm drawing here. And it's not going to be red if... I don't know, maybe? I don't know. We can hope, right? I'm not gonna make it red though. If anything, I'll make it, green. I don't know. I'll probably delete it tomorrow, but I mean, I see some reason for a bounce right here, but I'm not like all that confident in this. Because this doesn't look like a top to me because of this like somewhat double top, but it's an hourly double top and it doesn't really mean much. I mean, we can start drawing all kinds of things. Start drawing like Fibonacci's. If you want to be like, okay, how far can it fall? No, I don't like those. And let's make these visible. I don't care for that. I mean, this Fibonacci is almost where my other line was. We're already below here. I guess if we fall down to like between 24 and 2,500, it's a reasonable place for a bounce. I honestly don't know right now, guys. I'm not even like projecting Bitcoin more than a week out. It's just a crazy period in time with the user activated soft fork and my own PR issues. Is just like, what's the point? I have no clue what the price of Bitcoin is going to be next week. I just don't. I can literally take it like one day at a time. So, I mean, it's fallen 300. It's fallen quite a bit. We did fall from what, 26, almost 2,700, all the way down to like 1,900 in a few days, and then rallied all the way up. Like, I'm still bullish Bitcoin. I mean, there's nothing really in the charts that's signaling a bubble top yet, even though it looks like a bubble. But I'll talk about that in a minute. All right, let's talk about Litecoin. I've added Litecoin donations, so I don't know. I guess I'll talk about Litecoin more often than I probably should. I guess now I'm Litecoin invested. Look, I didn't want to buy Litecoin, but Bitcoin is having some issues. Actually, let me rephrase that. I did not buy Litecoin. I got some Litecoin in donations. I have not yet sold any Bitcoin for Litecoin. Let me make that clear before someone takes another part of my video completely out of context and puts it into the cesspool occasionally referred to as RBTC. Okay. So I got some Litecoin in donation. Thank you for that, guys. Look, and to be honest right now, because of the current Bitcoin environment, if you're going to tip me less than $10, I would rather have it in Litecoin, only because I mean, I have like a 36-cent tip that's still processing for like 3 days. And when people send me Bitcoin tips that are less than $1, I mean, if you don't like me, then please send me 30-cent tips to A, spam the Bitcoin network, and B, render my wallets unmovable, right? Because anyway, I'm not going to get into why. So at the moment, Bitcoin is completely useless for micropayments. It's just the way it is. I don't have a problem with that, right? I mean, if the community doesn't want Bitcoin to be useful for micropayments, then please don't use it for micropayments. Just don't, right? If you're going to send me a tip of $10 and above, feel free to use Bitcoin. If you're gonna send me like 50 cents or $1, Litecoin is significantly better right now. It's unfortunate. It's not the situation I ever wanted to be in. It's also not a good thing, by the way. I know a lot of you have Litecoin. Just remember, if Bitcoin is not store of value, nothing is. No crypto will ever be store of value, and I'll go into that in a minute too. But anyway, let's get back to Litecoin. So this is Litecoin on the weekly chart in Bitcoin, and it's still holding firm at the 62% Fibonacci retracement. So let's see if it can bounce from here. I thought it would have bounced earlier, but it went a little bit lower. So I can just, take these arrows and just, slightly move them. At the moment, even though it looks like it's going to break down, I think it's perfectly fair to be bullish on Litecoin. Okay, here is the more detailed chart. Again, this is Litecoin in terms of Bitcoin. I do have this big red arrow here saying that if we go below this yellow line, it's probably going to break down. I'm going to give Litecoin a few more days before I consider it a breakdown. It would actually be nice for Litecoin to pull back to like 0.007 and then bounce. But at the moment, considering the Bitcoin environment, I mean, I'm bullish Litecoin, guys. I wouldn't invest my money in it, but just looking at the chart looks a little bearish. But if I throw a little bit of fundamentals in there, Litecoin is not bad because, look, Bitcoin is useless for micropayments. It's actually terrible. It's not even bad for micropayments. It's hurting the Bitcoin network when it's used for micropayments at the moment. And if you think 2 megabyte, 8 megabyte blocks are going to be better, it's not, okay? I'll agree to a 1 gigabyte block, okay? As long as Bitmain will promise me that they will have it at least 50% full, 90% of the time. I'll agree to it. Might as well just destroy it. Why not? You want to destroy Bitcoin, go for it. So, all right. Yeah, so that's kind of my view on Litecoin. So this was the giant triangle that I sent out. And to me, this is still fairly bullish. So what I can do right here is I'm splitting hairs here a little, but I mean, if that's my previous high, we're kind of right at support, and you have the moving average right here, and this is Litecoin against the US dollar. So let's see, if Bitcoin can bounce, so can Litecoin. They have been moving somewhat in tandem. Litecoin can really go either way right here, so I'm 50-50. I don't like these big red volume spikes, which means people are starting to liquidate some of their Litecoin, which honestly doesn't make any sense to me. I think I talked about it in the last video that I see lots of uses for Litecoin, not as a store of value, but as a currency and value transfer. In August, if Bitcoin is, somewhat ground to a halt till we figure shit out, okay? So let me talk about something important. Oh, this was a very popular tweet. And people want to know, like, how come I stopped at 15? Well, I stopped at 15. I was going to stop at 10, but I knew many of the currencies that were under 10 11 to 15, so I stopped at 15. I could have gone to 20, I could have gone to 100, right? But again, like a picture can only fit so much for people to read it. And this was a very popular tweet. And look, it's to me, it's totally true, right? So there you go. So check that out. What else did I do? Oh yeah, so this is what I tweeted out on Bitcoin earlier today. I was bound to be wrong sooner or later on one of my Bitcoin tweets. And there you go, because soon after I tweeted that out, Bitcoin, oh yeah, I'll talk about that after. Bitcoin somewhat did the complete opposite and broke down out of this triangle versus up out of the triangle. And remember, the triangle target was 300 because that's the fat part of the triangle. So if it breaks down, it's a reasonable fall of 300. So if it fell from 2,800, going down to 2,500 is somewhat reasonable and a triangle target. Okay. Look, if you can be right 100% of the time in trading anything, then you'd be the richest man in the world. Okay, next. Yes, I can go ahead and close that. And this was the pattern I was referencing, right? I mean, I'm not just making this shit up. All right, let's close that. All right, finally, oh no, not finally. I got so much more stuff to say, but I do want to get to your questions. Maybe I'll find the question that will allow me to say it. Let me talk about this. So this is thought process for our core developers and what they think about BIP 148. So I'm actually happy with how many of these things are green, and Luke Jr. put this together. So thank you, Luke Jr. And what I'm not happy about, okay, here's what I'm least happy about. I'm least happy about this. And this. Because I want to know what these guys think. I really do. Like, there's plenty of choices right here. You know, plenty of choices. I'm sure one of them fits your view, and this is an Ethereum style blockchain, so you can always, you know, change what you write because it's not meant to be immutable. So so I really wish that that this would be filled out, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like right now. So here's the website, and this website is in the description of my video, right? So let's go ahead and take a look. Let's get the legend out, and let's, you know, scroll this to match. Okay, so let's see if anything's changed, right? And I'll start highlighting good or bad. So let's do good. So it looks like Alex Marcos has upgraded from no to something somewhat positive, which is deficient. And deficient means he's now okay with the idea. He's no longer against it. But I believe he still thinks that it doesn't have enough support. Considers to have insufficient community support, right? So that's on us, guys. That's on us, right? So one core developer has already went from, no, this is terrible, to, well, it's not bad. We should have more community support, okay? Hence my controversial pictures bringing publicity to the damn idea. All right, let's see what else we got here. Let's start from the top. So somebody got added. So this guy, I don't even know who that is. Christian Decker was not on the original list, and he seems to be acceptable, which is great. Acceptable is the second best thing you can have, a workable solution, right? So he's now at the same level as Eric Lombroso, who actually goes around and talks about this thing. Thank you, Eric, by the way. That was a great interview with Matt Bitcoins. Hope to see you there again. All right. So that's good, right? So we got another green. These two guys are still, I don't even know who they are. Annoying. Pick something. And these two, again, annoying. Pick something. And this guy, pick something. All right, let's see what else we got. For some crazy reason, Peter Will, who was wanting, which is, somewhat okay, positive on the idea, and likes the idea, considers it to have insufficient community support. Okay. How is that? Oh, yeah, that's right. That's wanting. Okay, so the other one was okay with the idea. So, yeah, so Marcos is now okay with the idea. Peter Will liked the idea, but he seems to have disappeared from the latest list. So, Luke Dash Jr., if you're watching, and Peter Will, if you're watching, would love to see your name back on here with some clarity to the Bitcoin community as to what you are thinking. Peter Todd, I like that answer. Now, here's something. So, Jorge has gone from wanting to no, and he also, thank you, Jorge, for at least updating the other stuff, right? So that helps a lot. So it's possible that Luke Dash Jr. originally misinterpreted Jorge Timon's views on the situation. So it doesn't necessarily mean that Jorge has changed his mind. It could mean that Luke Dash Jr., who filled this out, misinterpreted it, okay? And so look, we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Look, a lot of this has to do with community support. If more people support the user-activated soft fork, BIP148, if we get the economic nodes to support it, these core developers, their minds can be changed, right? They did, right? Look, they're all liking BIP141. So, and BIP148 enforces BIP141. It's a little more complicated than that, but anyway, we'll watch other videos. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Look at this. Look at this. Okay? And I would love to see no's across the board here. Okay? Or no, like reds and yellows, because there's not even a single green thing on here. Okay, these are the guys. Like, it's not the miners that have prevented Bitcoin from being hacked. Okay, it's not the miners. It's these people. It's these core developers. Okay. Oh, by the way, here's the best part. Forgot about the best part. Right there. Vladimir Vanderland, the guy whose name I always botch if I'm not reading it. He went from acceptable to preferred. That's a big deal, guys. That's a big name. That's a big deal. Okay, that's huge. So this is a bigger deal, though. Right here, Greg Maxwell. Greg Maxwell. Okay, we got to get him to be acceptable. Got to do it. All right, more community support might get us there. All right, I think I spent enough time on this. I will try to update this weekly on my Twitter just to keep a record of it. And hopefully we can, again, I don't want to put pressure on these guys. I want to put pressure on the community so that these guys see what's happening and then they make up their mind properly based on community support. Okay, but thank you, Luke, for putting this together. It's very helpful. All right, let's close that. All right, I do want to get to your questions. I already have a giant list. Let me just quickly, as I always do, go through my list of must-read articles, and all of these links are in the description of the video. Here's Luke Dash Jr.'s article. Here is Jimmy Song's article. Here is an article I did not actually like, but it did have some useful information. Here is a very good SegWit article by John Light that I really liked. A pretty good article by Kyle. I don't know if you've done any updates. I finally read this article by Jimmy Song. I thought it was very good, but make sure you also read the comments. Some of the criticism of this article is very fair, even though I really enjoyed the article. Here's a website that helps you create a node. Here's a website that helps you understand the user-activated soft fork and how to turn your node into one, I think. I still haven't finished reading the damn thing. Here is the website for Luke Dash Jr.'s chart of core developers' preferences. And all of these links are in the notes. Here is the miner that is in the mail. Hopefully it'll come by this weekend. And then next weekend, I can start setting everything up and start thinking about how to make a video to kind of educate people on it. And here is Crypto HW wallet. I believe the link that I have listed is a referral link. Please use my referral link. This is where you can buy your hardware wallets. Okay, so that's done. What else do I need to do here? What else do I want to talk about? I think this video has gone very long. Maybe I'll do these videos more often, and then I will just jump right into Bitcoin. I may not even do technical analysis because there's so much important stuff going on with what can happen going into August. I'm going to skip my thoughts on the current situation because for the last 48 hours, I've been preoccupied with a PR battle over my potentially bad judgment in photography, but let's see how that turns out, right? Like I'm kind of waiting for my mom to like call me tonight and yell at me because one of these pictures ended up on the evening news. So let's hope that doesn't happen. And I do apologize to those of you whose like parents and friends are now calling them saying, what the hell is Bitcoin associated with? Okay, and that's what happens when stupid pictures are taken, but then those pictures get taken out of context. All right, I think I've rambled on long enough. I'm gonna flip on my camera, and if I need to share a screen, I'll share a screen. All right, let's kill the screen share here. All right, here we go. Please let me know. I haven't seen Monday's video, and today's Wednesday. If I am wearing the same shirt, I clearly haven't shaved. So that kind of shows you how my day has been. There you go. 27 notifications on Twitter, which is not a lot at all, considering I've been talking for like over 30 minutes. That's nothing. Yesterday, that would have been 270 instead of 27 in 30 minutes. All right, question time. Oh, I already see a question coming in. Hey, Rich. Thank you, Rich, for helping me out. Definitely add that question. What do I think of BIP 149? Add that to the list. All right, let's jump onto your questions. Hopefully your questions are good so that my thoughts, I already see like 25 questions. I don't even know how long this video has been on. I know I started like 10 to 15 minutes late. I think I've already spoken for 50 minutes. All right, 300 live viewers. Thank you for some of your donations. Thank you for calling me for consulting. As far as I know, everyone has walked away from my consulting very, very happy. At the time, I don't know if what we talked about in trading worked out for them, so maybe they're unhappy now. But at the time, everyone seems to have walked away happy. But if you haven't, please, I mean, I comment, you know, whatever. All right, let's. The rate's going to stay the same for now, 0.1 Bitcoin per hour, only because I have no idea what's going to happen with Bitcoin. And if we are going to have some kind of a stalemate and Bitcoin becomes unusable, which I'm going to talk, maybe I'll talk about it in the questions, or Bitcoin has a major correction, you know what? I won't make that much money because I'm holding on to the Bitcoin, and like the price doesn't change, right? You can always, if you're paying someone in Bitcoin, you can always immediately buy that Bitcoin back if you choose. So it only costs you in real time, but if you don't and the price crashes, then hey, you got good money's worth. Okay, questions. What impact could the UK hung parliament have on GBP and crypto? Probably nothing. Look, a hung parliament is like Bitcoin without consensus, right? If there is no parliament, yes, they can't really make changes, but government making changes isn't necessarily a good thing. So a status quo is not always bad, right? It's as good as it is bad. Like if there's a government shutdown, and here's the thing, right? Like when the US had its government shutdown, here's what pissed me off the most, right? There are some services that government provides that I can't get in the private sector. So, for example, if you need to renew your passport to leave the country, a government shutdown has just screwed you royally, okay? That pisses me off. The other thing that really pissed me off even more than that was these people didn't go to work, and therefore they did not get paid. But when the government shutdown was resolved, they got back pay for those days. So why the hell did my tax dollars give these government employees a freaking vacation? If you don't work, you don't get paid. That's it. So if there's some kind of a government shutdown and these people aren't working, they don't get paid. And they don't get back pay either when they go back to work. Okay? It's not, why are the taxpayers responsible for giving these people extra vacation? They might as well shut down the government every year for a month just so they can have an extra month of vacation. Okay, that's ridiculous. All right? So a hung parliament doesn't really mean anything, in my opinion. Though I don't know how British politics work, right? I'm analogizing the problem with like the US government shutdown. But if you don't have a president, now you have panic, now you have uncertainty. Like I said, the worst thing for the US stock market is not what Janet Yellen says. Yellen doesn't show up and, I don't know, is out partying in Vegas, right? I mean, that's significantly worse for the stock market than anything she can say at a press conference. So if the president goes MIA and if Trump like goes MIA and can't be found, that's panic mode. Otherwise, information has a chance to process. So same thing here, right? I mean, if all the information is known, it's fine. Could a split Bitcoin be worth more than the pieces? So that's a good question, right? This is the bullshit that the Ethereum people are saying, and what people think that, I mean, just expand the situation, right? So people are saying, well, Ethereum immediately was worth more with the two Ethereum added together than the Ethereum beforehand, which is actually not true. But fairly soon, one Ethereum went up, and now the second Ethereum, which is the classic, is now worth more than the original Ethereum was worth before the split, right? This is not a sustainable business strategy, because if it was, you would fork every year, right? So if two Bitcoins are more valuable than one, then the following year, wouldn't 4 Bitcoins be more valuable than 2? And then the year after that, wouldn't 8 Bitcoins be more valuable than 4, right? So you can like double every year, and you should be able to see the stupidity in that business model. Now for Ethereum, it's an amazing business model because Ethereum is a scam. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that I think it's a scam. And sorry, let me scratch that. I don't think it's a scam. I know it's a scam. So everyone knows that I know it's a scam, right? Now, whether you agree with that or not, that's your opinion, and we can debate that, right? So I am planning to film the next episode of Crypto Scam about Ethereum this weekend, assuming my co-host comes through, which has been a bit of an issue lately. Anyway, so for them, it's an amazing business model, right? Because now all of these ICO garbage can redo their ICO on Ethereum Classic, right? So all of these ICOs, right? Like, what's the hottest ERC20 token right now? Is it Veritasium? Is it I don't know. Oh, BAT, the attention tokens from the Brave browser, right? So once they waste all that money, they're going to need more money. And what they can do is they can say, we feel that Ethereum Classic is also a great platform which provides different type of security. And we have decided to open our service to also be, as a backup, be built on Ethereum Classic. And therefore, we feel we would help the community by allowing another set of people to invest in the BAT Ethereum Classic version of the attention token, which we will now issue on Ethereum Classic. So we can scam the community by getting more money from unqualified investors, right, on Ethereum Classic, right? Or they will do it on Waves, or they will do it on, what's the one that's coming out? Tezos, whatever. Or they can do it on Rootstock. It doesn't matter. Or they can go back to Omni, right? It doesn't matter. They can reissue, like Storage is doing this now. Storage issued their stupid tokens on Omni, and now they're issuing them on Ethereum. And then when they blow through that money for their dumb project, they will then reissue that token on Ethereum Classic so that you will pay them more money to continue getting paid to do nonsense, right? So, so that's basically how these things are going to work. And now all of these tokens that are being built on Ethereum have the added bonus of completely collapsing if something bad happens to Ethereum. Now, Ethereum itself was the ICO before these ICOs. And anyway, I'll get more into it in the Crypto Scam episodes, right? Like, I don't expect Ethereum to last forever. And I don't know the details of Vitalik's meeting with Putin, apparently, from what I'm hearing. I'm assuming it's real. I haven't really seen the articles. People have just been telling me. So I don't know what's going on there. Now, if Vitalik allows Russia to build shit on top of Ethereum, oh God, if I was Vitalik's advisor, I would have told him not to take that meeting, first of all, because if they start building on Ethereum, I wouldn't even want that for Bitcoin, for God's sake, right? But the thing is, if something goes wrong, Vitalik's going to be the one to be blamed. And if I was Vitalik, the last person I would want to piss off is Putin. But on the flip side, maybe Vitalik is setting up a Snowden type of deal so that when the SEC comes for him, he can, run away and get an asylum in Russia. So I don't know. I don't know what he's doing, right? It's his choice. So I would be careful. Just my unprofessional advice. All right. So I don't know where I was going with this. Oh yeah, 2 tokens. Wow, I went way off tangent. So no, that would be ridiculous, right? So even if it's temporarily good, please watch the show I did with Mad Bitcoins and Jimmy Sung, just like I think Monday night even. I don't even remember. And we talked about this. If Bitcoin splits into 2 and there's 2 Bitcoins if this user-activated soft fork causes 2 Bitcoins, I mean, I will probably be partially responsible for that because I'm one of the people pushing for the user-activated soft fork because I think we can get enough support to have 1 SegWit compliant Bitcoin. If we don't get any support for BIP 148, then nothing happens. But if we get a little support, enough support to cause 2 Bitcoins, but not enough support to get everybody over, I will be partially responsible for creating 2 Bitcoins. And I will probably pull a Mike Hearn or a Dan Larimer, and I will have to leave the space. I mean, but I'm telling you this ahead of time, right? I'm not going to be sitting here doing TA on 2 Bitcoins. I'm not going to be analyzing 2 Bitcoins. I'm not. I'll find another project, right? I'm trying to do what's right, and I'm following smart people. I wasn't the one to come up with this crazy scheme. I don't really want. I mean, I do want the user-activated soft fork only because it's at this point I feel that it's the only option. And I'll get to the BIP 149 thing in a minute. Anyway, so there you go. So no, I think it would be absolutely terrible for Bitcoin to have 2 Bitcoin. Terrible. All right, next. Tone, being a chart guy, is it possible that in order for progress in Bitcoin technology, we have to deal with many scams and alts? Well, that's current reality, right? I mean, but I'm not going to chart something like without a history. And I'm not going to chart something I think is a scam, right? Like I'm not going to chart something that I know is fundamentally dumb. Like I don't chart penny stocks, right? I don't chart like things that I don't believe in, you know. I'm starting to chart Litecoin now. I've never charted Monero. I kind of charted Ethereum only because people paid me to do it. I charted some other crazy stuff, but only because I got paid to do it. I'm not going to voluntarily chart something I don't believe in. That's a waste of my time, and honestly, yours. All right, next. Do you have an opinion? I always have an opinion. I mean, not how you want to start a question to me. Do you have an opinion about Decred? Oh, fuck. Okay. Oh, man. I got to try to curse less. You're right. You got me. I don't have an opinion about Decred only because I know nothing about Decred. I'm supposed to study Decred because I'm supposed to get like one of their top guys on my On the Record podcast. My opinion on Decred right now is just that it's another altcoin. It's another altcoin with no history and no longevity and no ups and downs. Their governance model is irrelevant. Okay, the more optimal your governance model, the less secure your coin. Because the one thing I know about government is that the easier it is to find, the easier it is to corrupt. Okay, their governance model seems exactly what we need for Bitcoin. I highly doubt it. I have no idea what their governance model is, but here's my opinion. That is not what Bitcoin needs. Okay. Look, the reason why Decred is not in a dilemma is because no one uses Decred. Let's be serious here. Okay, let's listen to Eric Lombroso's interview with Mad Bitcoins from yesterday. All right, like when him and others were releasing segregated witness, they thought it was perfect. They thought they were easily going to get 95% compliance. They didn't even think there was going to be a minor stalling tactic because they talked to the miners before they released it, and they're like, "Oh, everything's beautiful, everything's great." But then again, they didn't know about ASIC boost. Right? Don't tell me something. Don't tell me something irrelevant has better governance. Right? Ants have better governance than humans. What does that mean? Okay, bees. Bees have better governance than humans. Right? And I know we need bees to survive because they pollinate plants, which, by the way, is kind of replaceable with technology. I think what do you call it? Black Mirror explained that very well, but it also explained how government corrupts technology. So bees and ants, there you go. They have infinitely better governance than humans do. Okay, but what does that say about the technology that bees and ants have created to improve society? Right, like serious questions, guys. I will try to interview the Decred person. I heard he's smart. I heard he's into Bitcoin. I'm sure he's smarter than I am. But come on. Next. In Bitcoin, is this week? Okay, wait a minute. In Bitcoin, so is this the weak hand FUD BIP 148 dump? I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm partially responsible for the potential. I mean, not me. I mean, Laura Shin's responsible, right? But if she's gonna use the most controversial photo of my life, I might have to make a more controversial photo. Maybe less weapons, maybe less clothes. I don't know. I'll think of something. Well, like I said in the tweet earlier, I think that photo has made me completely unemployable by anyone. So Bitcoin better work out, or me joking about being a broke bum may not be a joke in the future. Oh, wait, again, I'm thinking I'm sharing screen. I'm not sharing screen. Yeah, so the Forbes article didn't really paint me nor the situation in a good light. Core developers are pissed, probably at me. Okay, that's fine. I don't work for anyone. I work for myself. And I didn't want to be put in this position. But if I'm going to shed light, if I'm going to bring attention to the user-activated soft fork, I'm going to bring attention to the user-activated soft fork, right? I didn't build my reputation and 10,000 Twitter followers in a few years just by speaking my mind, right? I didn't get to where I am in the Bitcoin space by being an early Bitcoin investor and having a bunch of money. And I didn't get here by being politically correct either, right? I got here because of who I am, and this is what I'm going to do. And if I'm going to waste my time bringing attention to the user-activated soft fork, I'm going to bring attention to the user-activated soft fork, okay? In controversial style. And I'll deal with the consequences. The worst thing they can do to me is like, prevent me from flying. That would hurt. That would really hurt. Other than that, I'm fine. Oh yeah, the FUD, the FUD about BIP 148, it's gonna be all over MSM, because most of the people that the MSM listens to are people that are anti SegWit. So, I mean, users have to step up. Users have to step up. And if they don't, they don't, right? Then that's the card we're dealt. How does it feel to be the latest incarnation of Pepe? Look, look, I think it's funny. I think it's great, but I don't know what that means because I never understood Counterparty. Okay, I haven't programmed in years, and I always hated it. Counterparty made no sense to me, ever. Okay, I never wanted to understand it. I've spoken to Krista Rose about it a little bit. Like, I'm like, I always wanted to vote for the scammies, but that shit's too complicated for me. Look, I'm simple. I'm busy. I'm a content creator. I know what I know, right? I'm a trader. I know economics. Counterparty made no sense to me. And if you're building something on Counterparty, I think it's dumb. Okay, I don't think it makes sense. So therefore, Pepe doesn't make much sense to me. And I don't know how it works. And I think it's great that I have a Pepe in my likeness. It's cool. I guess it's some form of status symbol, and but I hope it's a very powerful card, so I kind of know about them. But I don't care for Pepe. I just don't. Have I seen Jihan's coffee table meme? Yes, I have. But here's the thing, guys. It's easy to get me to hit the like button on your tweet. It's very difficult to get me to hit the retweet button on your tweet. If I'm hitting the retweet button, here's what I'm saying. Damn, I really wish I had come up with this tweet and tweeted it. That's how you get a retweet out of me, okay? If it's something I agree with, I will hit the like button. The Jihan coffee table meme, I think, is a little disrespectful to Roger Ver on a personal level, and I do not attack people personally. I might call him an idiot every now and then, right? But I'm not gonna, I don't go after people's families. I don't go, and I mean, like, in debates, I don't go. I want to say I don't go after people's like religions and nationalities, but then people are gonna pick on me over what I said about Vitalik, calling him a 30-kilogram Russian. But that was somewhat, tongue-in-cheek and fun because he's skinny and he's Russian. So I don't really see that as derogatory at all. It's, well, him being Russian is a fact, and him being 30 kilograms is, me being sarcastic. Little bit. Little sarcastic in that case. And I'm also Russian, so I guess it maybe makes it a little better, maybe not, maybe it doesn't matter. But so look, I don't attack people personally. I may disagree with their ideas and I may argue with their ideas, but I will always try to be somewhat respectful to them. So I'm not going to hit the like button on that. And if you go through the, what Roger tweeted out and all of the replies back and forth, you will see that I did not hit the like button on any tweets that, attacked him personally or attack anyone. Same thing with Jihan, right? Like there were even some tweets using that photo of mine in an aggressive manner towards Jihan. And I politely asked those people to please take down those tweets. And respectfully, those people took those tweets down and rephrased it, right? Because again, I'm not. I wasn't raised that way, so I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna attack or hit the like button on any personal attacks. But yeah, but I'm aware. So there you go. I hope that explains my position. And I might be arguing with people on the big block side, but like I don't want any harm to come to anyone, and I'm not gonna hit the like button on a tweet I feel is disrespectful. All right, developers prefer supporting BIP 141 SegWit, not so much support BIP. Okay, so 141 and 148 are very different. And 148 actually enforces 141 earlier in the process. No. It's saying why support BIP 148 and not BIP 141? No, that's a contradiction. If you're supporting BIP 148, by default, you're supporting BIP 141. 148 is implying BIP 141 and more. So BIP 148 is a soft fork of BIP 141, if you understand how soft forks versus hard forks work, right? So BIP 141 says that the moment we have 95% of SegWit blocks signaling, 95% signaling for SegWit blocks, for a 2,000
2016 blocks in a row, right? So then SegWit automatically activates, right? BIP 148 says that you will only mine SegWit blocks. And that by default creates 100% compliance for SegWit signaling, because the blocks are not just being signaled for SegWit, they're actually mined with a SegWit transaction potentially inside of them, right? So it's even like more restrictive. So every block mined on BIP 148 user-activated soft fork is by default signaling SegWit, by default, right? Now, we would need 95% of those in for 2,000 blocks. And there'll be 100% of them, right? Because they're all going to be SegWit. We need that by the November 15th deadline of BIP 141 that automatically puts the core developer's code for SegWit into the system, right? Because here's the problem. I should probably share a screen. Yeah, you know what? Let me share a screen real quick. Earlier today, someone emailed me a bunch of questions on about BIP 148. Now, please don't take this as a sign that if you email me questions about BIP 148, I'm going to answer you, okay? I will probably reply with a QR code and say, hey, I'll need an hourly fee, because me typing all of this with all of the errors took longer than an hour. But anyway, so please pause this video and maybe zoom in. And I did tweet this out, so you can grab the screenshot, or maybe I'll, like, for example, if I zoom in right now, it's not really going to help because that will be too much. So I explain it here. I don't even know what to use here, right? So I explain it here. Okay. Of course, I made mistakes because I have a math degree, so I don't know how to do basic math. This should not be, oops. This is wrong. This should not be 1,000 divided by 10. Same thing. Let me make this smaller. Same thing here. This is not 1,000 blocks divided by 10. 10 minutes per block. This should really be 2016 blocks multiplied by 10. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, I'll put it here. Okay. And that means also same thing here, right? And I explained that over here, right? So there's a couple of things here, right? So after the user activated soft fork goes off on its merry way, every block becomes SegWit, but if there is only 20% of mining power, then these blocks are being mined 5 times slower. So, and because of that, it may take an extremely long amount of time to mine 2016 blocks. And if it takes too long to mine them, then you miss the November 15th deadline. This is one of the reasons why Sheldon Fry set the activation date of BIP 148 to August 1st to give enough time to mine over 2,000 blocks on a user-activated chain with somewhat of a low hash rate. Now, if the hash rate is too low, then we're never going to make it, right? So, and once we do that, then we enforce BIP 141 on that chain, and then it uses core developer built code to mine SegWit blocks. And here is the big problem, and I mentioned it here. Unfortunately, and this is very unfortunately, the code that enforces mining of BIP41, sorry, the code that enforces the mining of segregated witness blocks on the user-activated soft fork was not written by the current Bitcoin Core developers. And to be honest, that's what we need. We need to convince. Oh, did I already close that other picture? Yeah, I did. So let me go back to it. So we need to convince these people with enough support for the user-activated soft fork so that they, I'm not sure how it works, guys. I could be totally wrong here. But it would be nice if these core developers wrote the code that BIP148 is going to use to actually mine those segregated witness blocks as of midnight August 1st. Okay? Otherwise, you're using, I don't know, Shaolin Fry's code. I'm not sure. Okay? Who's I hear he's a very competent developer, but he is a Litecoin developer. Okay? All right. I think I've gone through this question. I think you get the point. What was the question again? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that's BIP148 versus BIP141. Oh, I skipped the question. What do you think is causing the $300 price drop? Well, it's not even 300 anymore. Right now, it's 200. Look, anytime you hit all-time highs too quickly, a few people sell and take profit. That causes some stop losses, causes other people to sell, causes some leverage long positions to margin call, and prices start to fall until they fall low enough for new speculators to buy them up. Okay, so considering that Bitcoin has gone up almost $2,000 in 2 months, a $300 fall in 1 day is pretty much noise. It's noise. It's not something that can be taken seriously because we've gone up too far too fast. Now, if we had fallen $300 on, say, May 1st, that would be something. Falling $300 from yesterday to today is nothing. And tomorrow morning, I may wake up to a $3,000 Bitcoin, and then I'll be back shopping. Okay? Or not back shopping. Then I'll be shopping on what I should have bought when it broke 2,900, which is what I was doing before I got distracted. All right, next question. Is splitting the podcast happening? I don't know. I vote for traditional markets to be dedicated show. I agree. No, it's happening. It'll probably happen once I buy a new computer, and my search for a new computer has also been partially delayed. There's only so much time in a day, and the last 2 days was spent on PR over a stupid picture, and the next few days will be spent between putting together an Ethereum crypto scam and protecting my Bitcoin for the user-activated software. All right, I don't know if you can hear the stupid ice cream truck outside, but I do, so I need to close some windows. Give me a second. Oh, man. Can't wait to go back to the woods this weekend. All right. Hopefully no bears. All right, next. I understand your reasons for buying a miner in preparation for user-activated software, but why the Trezor? Well, because my Bitcoin security sucks. You really need to protect your Bitcoin. You really, really do. And this is my first hardware wallet. I'm not a big fan of paper wallets because I'm scared of losing the paper. like I always liked SPV phone wallets, and I guess I would love to store some Bitcoin on my actual node, but considering I run Windows, that's probably not the best idea either. This really is one of the best ways to put your Bitcoins in cold storage offline. So that's why the Trezor. Okay. Next. Do you think your crypto scam episode about Ethereum is needed after Vlad's interview with Chris DeRose? Yes. Well, I haven't watched Vlad's interview with Chris DeRose. The reason why my crypto scam episode is needed, and why it should have been done months ago, if not a year ago, is because people ask me, Tone, why do you think Ethereum is a scam? And my first video was almost 2 hours. I don't know how long my second video is going to be. It really depends on my co-host. I will, by the way, so the first video explained why Ethereum token is an unlicensed, unregistered security. The second episode is going to be about why Ethereum is basically promising a perpetual motion machine that is useless, and why nobody needs decentralized Turing-complete smart contracts. Basically, the second episode is going to ignore the existence of a token, and it's simply going to talk about the technology that Ethereum is built on and the need for that technology. And that will be a 1 to 2 hour episode. The third episode of Ethereum's crypto scam is going to go back to the economics, factoring in the token that nobody knows what it is. Okay, and I don't want to, I don't want to give away my guests for those, right? So in total, there might be 6 hours of why Tone Vase thinks Ethereum is a scam, and that's just Ethereum. I will then redo it for Ethereum Classic. Maybe I'll get that one done in 1 episode, maybe 2. Okay. So when someone asks me on Twitter, hey, Tone, can you explain why Ethereum is a scam in 140 characters? You can see why I would get frustrated, because I will have 6 hours of straight video explaining it. So I will send them the links to my videos, and I will say, if you really, really care why I think it's a scam, please take 6 hours and watch. That's why the Ethereum crypto scam is necessary. Okay, this is also why crypto scam man-made global warming is also necessary, because when people ask me, Tone, what do you think about global warming? It's not exactly a Twitter conversation. Okay, so I'll get to that hopefully. By the way, if the worst case scenario happens to crypto in August, I'll have a lot more free time on my hands to do some of this stuff, unless I'm forced to go back to work. Hopefully Goldman Sachs, they pay the most and have the smartest people. All right, next. Oh, I haven't even talked about August. I'm going to rewrite that article about my time astrological predictions and why I predicted August to be like important. Wow, I have a lot of questions. It's going to be another 2 hour video, guys. Oh my God, I'm bad. All right, let's move on. I'll try and move on quickly. Do you think Vitalik and Elon, I'm assuming Elon Musk, will make it to Mars before the lynch mob's attack? I'm not sure. I'm a little. Okay, I don't care about Vitalik. Please don't put Vitalik and Elon Musk in the same sentence, like ever. That's just not right. So I really like what Elon Musk is doing with Tesla and that company and trying to revolutionize the car industry. I don't like what he's doing with SpaceX, because I think he's wasting a lot of money And I think he should focus on Tesla and self-driving cars and, you know, solar power cars, you know, self-efficient cars, you know. And when he solves the car problem, then you know, hand off that company to someone else. And then as your last and final hurrah, do SpaceX. That's my opinion on Elon Musk, but he's the self-made billionaire, and I'm a guy making YouTube videos, you know. So take that opinion with a grain of salt. I don't think any lynch mob is going to go after Elon Musk unless, you know, one of his rockets, you know, flies into a populated area. Let's put it that way. Which has a much higher chance of doing than one of his cars flying into a populated area, because he's not there with flying cars yet. Give us flying cars, you know, work on that. Give us self-flying airplanes, you know, that don't crash, you know. I don't know. We'll see. Next. Why do you think Bitcoin can't last till BIP 149 in July 2018? That's a good question. If it's a store of value, it doesn't matter. A couple of reasons. One, Bitcoin may be a store of value, but it's becoming unusable. That's one of the reasons why maybe I was wrong in my debate with Roger when I said I don't mind $100 fee. I kind of mind, especially when we have a solution to fix it, a good, safe solution to fix it, right? So maybe I was wrong, you know? I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. And so the other reason is you don't want to wait till July 2018 is because you don't want people to kind of lose confidence in Bitcoin. And it's not that they're going to find another token to be a store of value, is that you can lose confidence and then nothing's a store of value, right? If people keep getting scared. Also, the more time you give to the big blockers with chip building and media outlets and money to throw around, a lot of money to throw around with the price of Bitcoin going up, you're enriching the wrong people more. And they can influence the community to do something that only will make them richer. Now, I don't care if people are rich. I just think that what they're doing with big blocks is wrong. And I don't like ASIC boost. And I don't like the idea of AMP lead, right? So when you put it all together, the more time that side has, the higher the chance that they will push their agenda in. And I know this is now turning political, but I think we got to do SegWit now. We have to do it now, or extension blocks would come in. And I don't think that I'm not technologically savvy enough to critique it, but some of the technologically savvy people that looked at it don't like the idea. And I don't like the idea from an economic perspective. I think it's dumb. So, so we got to get the SegWit in, and we're going to try. And if it doesn't work, then then all of us will face the consequences together. Okay. All right, next. So that's one of the reasons why I don't want to wait that long. And I also don't want to see Litecoin become, you know, way more dominant, even though I now have a few Litecoins. So, but it's, you know, what's Litecoin now? I don't know. I'm not even sure how much Litecoin I have, but I'm pretty sure it's less than 1% of my Bitcoin position. What would you
sign, what would be the sign or signs that would tell us that Bitcoin has accomplished what? Unassailable victory. I'm sorry, guys, you got to use small words. My vocabulary is limited, so I don't know what that means. I don't know what unassailable victory means. There will never be a victory. Even if SegWit gets in, there's so many haters that like the slightest hiccup, the slightest issue is gonna just rain the FUD and the bullshit down on all of the SegWit supporters. Okay. Look, I wake up every day happy our core developers are still with us, because if they leave, I'm out. All right, next. Oh, that's a long question. This is going to be painful. Can users force miners to signal before user-activated soft fork? If we all make as much 1 Satoshi transactions as we can with 0 fees, I'm not sure what that means. The will not to hard fork before August 1st. So could be the only option. Maybe this is stupid. It could crash the price of Bitcoin. Look, honestly, I don't think this hasn't been crashing the price of Bitcoin, so I don't know what's going on. Look, the perfect situation is if enough people are supporting the user-activated soft fork that the miners agree and they do it and there is no fork, okay? I mean, the user-activated soft fork gets 60% of the hashing power and stuff, right? Here's the problem. Here's the big problem. In order for, this is the biggest chicken and egg problem you can possibly have. And I don't even know how to get around it. Like, I don't have an answer, but I have a problem. Not me, all of us. Look, the best chance that the user-activated soft fork has after August 1st is with the most amount of mining on that fork at the lowest hash rate. And if new miners are coming on board, it doesn't make sense for them to come on board before very end of July. But if they don't, like, for example, me, I want to use myself as an example, right? Let me not talk about other people, right? I have one miner. Now, in reality, that miner, well, what is one miner? I don't have it yet. It's in the mail. Should make that clear. When my miner gets to me, it'll take me at least a week to figure out what the hell I'm doing. And after that, I have a decision. Do I put that miner online to signal for user-activated soft fork so that the community knows the soft fork has more support? But by doing so, I am increasing the overall hash rate, not in reality, right? In theory, right? Like assume I'm not one miner, assume I'm a mining farm with 1,000 ASICs, not one, right? So I only have one, so I'm talking about one. So if I put this miner online too early, the good news is I'm telling the community user-activated soft fork has more mining support, which may lead to more mining support ahead of time, potentially avoiding the hard fork. But the downside is that I'm increasing the overall hash rate. So when the user-activated soft fork happens, and only, let's say, 20 or 25% of the global miners are on it, the higher the hash rate going into August 1st, the harder it is to find those SegWit blocks. And the chain is very slowly like building.
This is an enormous chicken and egg problem that I don't know what's better. I really don't. And there's like civil attacks, right? Like, I wish there was a way for me to signal for SegWit with one miner and some kind of proof that I am also in control of 100 other ASIC miners that will be turned on August 1st. But then I can also be lying. And even though I can prove, like, I can't be lying, if there was a technological way to prove that you have another like huge set of miners that's ready to be, well, if you have that much mining power, it would be dumb of you not to use it now because you're missing out on big money, right? I mean, me and my one miner, I'm doing it for, political reasons and to kind of put money where my mouth is. So I'm not really missing out on any money. But if you had 100 of these things, yeah, you're missing out on money. So it would be dumb of you to let them like just sit there playing possum in order to help the user-activated soft fork. That's not in your economic interest, right? But if there was a way for you to, and if you have all those miners, you could be signaling for user-activated soft fork now, right? But if 1,000 people like me buy a miner, do they turn it on ahead of time, showing that there's 1,000 ASICs? And I don't even know if 1,000 ASICs matter in today's hash rate, right? I have no idea. I've never had a big interest in doing mining research. Do you show your hand? Do you increase the global hash rate ahead of time? And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the right thing is. All right, let's move on. Do you know what pool you are going to join when your miner arrives? No, not yet. All right, but here are my criteria, though. I mean, I know slush pool allows you to signal, but I want to join a pool where every miner in that pool is mining SegWit, right? Like, I'm not sure how slush works, right? Again, I don't know much about mining, but back like months ago, when people were signaling for Bitcoin Unlimited or SegWit or neither, slush let each miner in their pool decide. So I guess, I don't know, I don't even know how that works. I'm guessing, let's say there's 1,000 miners on the slush pool, and 100 of those miners were SegWit, and 500 of those miners were, let's flip that. 500 of those miners were SegWit, 200 of those miners were for BU, the rest were neutral. I'm assuming whichever one of those 1,000 people on that pool actually found the block, it's his signal that gets broadcasted to the world, but the rewards get split amongst the pool people, right? So that's just signaling. I'm not going to join a mining pool that signals. I will probably be turning on my miner on July, I'll probably at July 27, 28, so that I know what I'm doing. And I'm going to join a pool that's actually going to be mining the user-activated soft fork, right? So that doesn't mean that, well, we have a pool of 1,000 ASIC, and half of them are mining one thing and half of them are mining the other. No. That's not the pool I'm joining. And I don't know how Slush does it because I know nothing at the moment. But I will join a pool specifically that only mines SegWit blocks. That's my plan. But I still need to learn what the hell I'm doing. But that's as far as I've gotten so far in my head. All right, I have it on good authority not to mention certain names, so I'm going to say blank blank is paying to retweet negative info on SegWit and pump Ethereum. Okay, and I'll let you guess who that blank blank. And by blank, I don't mean to, you know what? First name, last name. Let me do it that way. Let me not make it look like Again, I'm giving so much ammo to the cesspool, occasionally referred to as RBTC, to take me out of context that it doesn't even matter at this point. First name, last name is paying to retweet negative info on SegWit and pump Ethereum. Do you believe that he sold most of his Bitcoin to become one of the biggest Ethereum holders? I don't know. This is even too much for me to speculate. If he has, then it means, here's what it means. It means he was very lucky in being very, very rich on buying Bitcoin, as opposed to being very, very smart. And if this is what he's done, then he will prove the fact that he was lucky, and he will lose all that money when Ethereum implodes. So the question is, and I don't know the answer, do you think he's smart, or do you think he got lucky? If you think he was smart, then he did not do this, or move it to Ethereum anyway. Do you think he was lucky? Then yeah, then perhaps he would have moved it to Ethereum, right? That's kind of my thought on the matter. And it's unfortunate that anyone pays to retweet. I don't. I've never done that. Like all my followers are real. Well, they may not be real, but like I don't know if some bots following me, but that wasn't my doing. All my YouTube views, I don't pay for those. I don't pay for Twitter likes. I don't do that stuff. I don't bullshit. But look, hey, if you have a position and if you believe in Ethereum, you're gonna promote Ethereum, right? And if you're gonna pay to promote it, that's fine, right? Because look, once I can afford assistance, I'm gonna have assistants to help me with my social media. So they will be promoting my content on YouTube, on LinkedIn. So is that the same thing? I don't know. You tell me, right? I mean, if a person has a lot of money, has sold all of his Bitcoin and bought another coin because he believes that coin is the future, he is well within his right to spend money promoting his views on that coin. I mean, that's what you would do, right? I mean, if Ethereum is proven to be a scam, like I think it is, it could be an issue for that person in the future. But for now, I mean, it's standard business. I mean, it's making the money, I'm sure. So I mean, like, it's not, if you pay like bots to like your stuff to promote it, I think that's unethical. But if you're promoting your opinion, I mean, that part isn't. What are my views on 149? I think I already explained that. It's a good idea. It's just 9 months too late. When do you think the SEC will release their decision on Bitcoin? I don't know, 2020? Best guess. How likely is the major exchanges? How likely are the major exchanges to support BIP 148? Supporting means they will give BTC versus XBT symbol for BIP 148. How important is this? No, that's not what it means, guys. Okay, so man, this is gonna be like a 3-hour. This is gonna be like a Bitcoin Uncensored episode. I actually can't do this for too much longer because I am gonna have to run soon. Okay, so that's not what it means. All right, here's the thing. And Jimmy Song and I believe, explained it, but maybe not deep enough. So what we need right now is for exchanges to be committed to BIP 148 and the user-activated soft fork, and to run the nodes, and to be very clear that they are in support of SegWit. Now, once the user-activated soft fork starts, and there is mining going on the user-activated soft fork SegWit chain and the legacy chain, it is still the same Bitcoin, because this side can disappear if it doesn't have enough mining. And this side can disappear if the SegWit side has more than enough mining. And there was a window where they're both in flux. Now, if they're both in flux, this one is a little bit safer. But if it only has 5% mining support, then it's probably going to disappear. And if it has 40% mining support, then it's probably going to overtake the legacy chain, right? But if it's somewhere in between, if it's somewhere in that 15 to 25% range and is kind of stuck there, slowly maybe decreasing after a week or two, it creates a giant limbo situation where it's probably not going to survive, but it's still enough of a threat to make this one scary. And that's why no one can really transact in Bitcoin. And therefore, the exchange can't list anything. They will let you trade the Bitcoin that is currently sitting at their disposal, but they can't go out and acquire more Bitcoin. And I think no one would be able to sell their mined Bitcoin at this stage, which creates another dilemma. If Bitcoin is being mined, but no one is buying it, does it make the price go up or down? And this is a very difficult answer. I'm actually leaning to the fact that it will make the price go up, because that means the only Bitcoin that's valuable is Bitcoin that was mined before August 1st, because that Bitcoin can go to both chains and no one is actually spending it. So the only Bitcoin that is out there for public consumption is Bitcoin sitting at exchanges that have properly, and this is important, that have properly backed up that Bitcoin in case whichever side wins. Okay? I'm sure Bitfinex will do it. They better know how to do security by now. Zappo seems to be silent, so I wouldn't be surprised if people are leaving that one. And if there's a very limited supply of Bitcoin to acquire, because you need the Bitcoin, because the users aren't going to be spending it, right? If I have my Bitcoin, it's going to be in my cold storage. I'm going to sit there and wait because I'm not even going to know how to properly sell it. I'll sell it for dollars, let it be somebody else's problem. So it's very possible that there will be such a constraint and a run on the small amount of Bitcoin sitting at exchanges that it may actually drive the Bitcoin price through the roof, because there'll only be like, I don't know, 10,000 Bitcoin out there for people to buy on exchanges. And if people are sending these wires to the exchange, the exchange won't have anyone to buy it from. Are they going to buy it from the user-activated soft fork side that may not have enough mining and just disappear? Or are they going to buy it from the legacy side that may get reorganized and replay attacked and get wiped out to the user-activated soft fork side? So they're not going to risk that either. So if you're sending a $5,000 check to Bitfinex to buy more Bitcoin, the wise thing to do for them is to take the money, use the money to acquire new Litecoin or, God forbid, Ethereum or Monero or whatever, and then convert it into the Bitcoin. And then you have the Bitcoin sitting on Bitfinex, which I guess they can actually send you. They can put the private key on OpenDime or something like that and ship it to you in the mail. Though, you know, hopefully mailman won't open it and then like take the Bitcoin, right? Or somehow they'll have to ship you your private key, right? And then they can give you your Bitcoin. So the exchange can actually withdraw and give you the Bitcoin as long as they're giving you the private key to that Bitcoin. and then you decide where you want to activate that private key. And if you're smart, you're not going to activate it anywhere until you know which side of the soft fork, either the user activated soft fork doesn't get enough mining and all those blocks get orphaned, and legacy chain it is, or the other way around. Now, everything I just described has not factored in a strategic hard fork, because if the user activated soft fork forks, the Jihan and Bitmain and big blockers will have the opportunity to hard fork the legacy chain in order for it not to get reorganized. And I don't know if they're going to do that or not, right? So my previous scenario was if they don't do the hard fork. The other option is what Jimmy and I talked about, is that the user activated soft fork will get attacked by the miners that choose, instead of hard forking the legacy chain, they may choose to attack the user activated soft fork side, which is again speculative. And if they do that, then the user activated soft fork has to decide, do they want to hard fork? Only after somebody hard forks, then and only then can Bitfinex add the second token. Pre-hard fork, all they can do is give you a futures contract where you pay out in fiat based on what you think will happen, right? They can't actually pay out the Bitcoin until it hard forks. I hope that made sense, and I hope I'm right, because that's how it makes sense to me. All right, let's move on. Could a futures market for BIP 148 coins give extra information about market support? Yeah, it could. Given the opportunity to give up on it before August 1st. Yeah, it could. It really could. If there's really real money on the line, right? If you start doing futures contracts that actually pay out in Bitcoin, and you can even do these contracts. Here's the best part. Here's the best part. You can do these contracts into August 1st and after August 1st, as long as you are paying out in pre-August 1st mined Bitcoin. If Bitfinex, again, I think, I could be wrong, if Bitfinex is sitting on, I don't know, 100,000 Bitcoin at their disposal, right? Two users that have Bitcoin can then enter a futures contract on the value of the two sides, even after August 1st, because the winner gets the difference in the value of that Bitcoin. It's a little tricky. It's a little tricky, right? Because the Bitcoin that they're holding is pre-SegWit Bitcoin, okay? And these trades, of course, would have to be, like, you can't hold these trades forever, right? Like, there'll be a limit, because if one side goes to zero, then you need somebody else to pick up that contract, right? But the point is that they would be able to pay out the winners of these trades in Bitcoin as long as it was pre-mined before August 1st, okay? So you can't even have these futures markets internal on an exchange after August 1st, but there'll have to be caps. And there might be some socialized losses. I don't know. Like, this is, if I'm asked to consult with an exchange, I'll actually think about it some more, but I'm not. Again, after my latest pictures, I may not be employable. May or may not be a good thing. I don't know yet. Oh, and also, like, when actual companies ask me to consult, that stays private. I don't promote any companies, and I don't want a company using my name because it'll probably be bad for them in the future because of my political incorrectness. All right, I have two more questions. Hopefully that's it. Thank you once again, Rich, for helping me out. I'm lower on viewers today. I was breaking 400 before. I'm only at 270 now, so I don't know. Maybe people don't like me anymore. Are you sure that when a user-activated soft fork starts, there could be SegWit transactions in that fork? User-activated soft fork only accepts blocks that are transactions with user-activated soft fork are possible only after 95%. Okay, so I'm not sure, but this is what I talked about. So this is the thing I talked about earlier. I am under the impression, and hopefully Jimmy will, I mean, these videos are long as hell. I don't think anyone smart enough to really understand this is actually watching this. Okay, that was poorly phrased. I don't think any of like the core developers are watching me, so let's put it that way. My understanding is that after August 1st, those blocks do have segregated witness transactions in them. The problem is that the code, the segregated witness code that puts the transactions in there is not the same code that is in BIP 141 that is enforced after 95%. It's a hack of that code. And that's why earlier I said that one of the problems is that the code that's going to be used to mine these SegWit transactions and put them in blocks was not written by the same people and the same star core developers that wrote the code that becomes effective after 95%. Now, I'm not technically savvy enough to understand why they couldn't just use that code in BIP 148. But I believe that it's not the same code. And please, someone fact check me on this, okay? But that's my current understanding of it. But the code is what was written by probably Shalom Fry, maybe someone else. But I think if there was anything really buggy in that code, we would know about it by now. Other than, I don't know, maybe the company Block was the one that found the issue and is not saying, which is, in my opinion, disgraceful. But again, my opinions only go so far. All right, next. In clear, simple instructions, what can users do to support BIP 148, and what can miners do to support BIP 148? Well, let's do it. It's easy. All miners have to do is signal for SegWit. All miners have to do is signal for SegWit, right? Because if 95% of miners signal for SegWit, BIP 148 becomes irrelevant, really, and a non-issue. What can users do? Well, for starters, you can, change your Twitter handle to user-activated soft fork BIP 148. I mean, if that's, it depends how much money you want to invest, money and time, right? If you want to invest the least amount of money and the least amount of time in supporting BIP 148, all you have to do is make your views known in your social media handles. And anytime there are polls, Twitter polls, whatever, right? You vote for BIP 148, right? So that there at least some kind of polling going on, right? If you want to spend a little more time and a little more money, you create a full node and signal not just that you want SegWit, but you specifically want to see BIP 148. That's fairly cheap. Creating a node, if you have if you have to buy a new computer, you saw me tweet it out. I bought a computer for $160, and it's more than enough to run a full node. You can go with a Raspberry Pi. I mean, that investment can be as low as $50 and as high as a few $100. And it will take time, right? It will take time out of your day. You'll have to learn how to build a node. You'll have to spend, a week downloading the history of transactions, things like that, right? So that's a little more money, a little more time. If you want to put in more money and more time, you start doing what I'm doing. You know, actually putting your reputation on the line, going out and buying a miner, telling people about it, trying to get the community on board, trolling wallet providers, trolling exchanges. I mean, here, I'm going to share screen again. Read this article. Read this article by John Light. Where is it? There it is. Read this article by John Light, right? He even helps you by creating templates, right? Here, template for exchanges. So all you got to do is put the name of the exchange and put your name here, and email exchanges, right? Like tell exchanges what to do. So again, this doesn't cost any money, but it costs time, and time is money. So these are the things you can do. So it all depends on how much time and how much money you want to invest. So check out this article right here. It gives you templates. You don't even have to write up your own emails. You can just copy and paste and get the economic nodes on board. And the economic nodes are wallets, exchanges. I'm like counting on my fingers, but I already. Economic nodes are wallets, exchanges, mining pools. Anyone else important? Get someone important to change their mind, right? Like, guys, if 2-3 weeks from now, Tone Vase is the face of the user activated soft fork, I'll be honest with you, it's not going to work. Look, I'm slowly getting popular, but I'm not that popular, right? Like, I'm what, maybe 10% the popularity of Andreas Antonopoulos. I'm probably still maybe 20% of the popularity of Roger. Like, I'm not that important. I don't even run a company. I'm not a CEO. Like I don't have influence. We lost BitPay. Once BitPay got paid by Bitmain, it was over. Get some of those companies. I mean, look at the Twitter count. Anyone with more Twitter followers than me, assuming they're real, assuming they're not fake, right? Anyone with more Twitter followers than me is more important. They're just more important. It's not the best gauge, but it's a gauge, right? Anyone with a YouTube channel with more subscribers than me is more important socially, right? If I am if I'm the voice of BIP148 user activated soft fork, if I'm the guy that has like one of the biggest followers in social media for user activated soft fork, we're not going to succeed. I mean, it has to be supported by people more important than I am. I mean, it's a start. I mean, if I'm hoping to get people like Andreas on board. I haven't actually talked to him, but look, it's not my job to convince anyone, right? Like, I make these videos. I tweet it out. I have the most controversial picture to bring light to the user activated soft fork. I mean, everyone in the space by now should know how I feel about it. And I'm not going to be harassing individual people. That's not what I do. I don't even follow a lot of these guys. And if I follow them so that if they follow me, I can at least, private message them. But I have a lot of people on mute because so that they don't clutter up my homepage of my Twitter. But we need more important people from in a social sphere to support the user activated soft fork, because if I'm the biggest voice going into August, I may pull my support, because if I think that it's not right now, I still think that we can succeed. But if I feel that we're not going to succeed, then I don't want to be responsible for having 2 Bitcoins. I mean, I'm literally punching my own pink slip to leave the space. Not really what I want to do. So let's see what we can do. Let's try. Let's try to get economic nodes and some more prominent people to support this to avoid a chain split and get everybody on SegWit and decentralize mining a little bit. I think this incident alone is going to bring in a lot of private people mining with a single miner, even at a monthly loss of money. I think I'm going to do it the rest of my life now. I think that I've made some money in Bitcoin, as long as we stay on one chain and as long as the value of Bitcoin slowly continues to go up, I think I can afford to reasonably mine at a loss up to $100 a month. And you know what? Look, your consulting fee pays for this, right? People that call me up to consult, that will pay my electricity bill. That will pay the replacement of a miner when Avalon comes out with a new chip, right? Because I'm not buying them from Bitmain. I'll never buy a Bitmain miner, even to mine against them. I don't want to give them my money. I vote with my money all the time. So I think I will be mining at a loss for the rest of my life as long as there's one Bitcoin. And I think others will do the same. And I think this was a valuable lesson as to why people should never have stopped running full nodes. I used to run a full node. Then I stopped. Mistake. I never mined. Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have mined at a small loss just to support the network, just so I have an understanding of mining, just so I can immediately signal for my opinion with my miner, my one miner. It doesn't matter. Okay. Look, every vote counts. All right, last question. I'm already exhausted. In clear, simple, okay, that was the last question. All right, guys, that's my view on that. We're gonna do a lot more of these videos. I have a feeling I'm gonna do more than 2 a week. And I have a feeling they're gonna be long until this is resolved. And after this is resolved, either there'll be no more videos or I'll go back to my normal schedule. I'll split up Bitcoin and traditional markets. I'll completely restructure after a nice vacation. So once again, my travel schedule, I will be in Prague. I will be speaking at Hackers Congress in October. Later on in October, I will be speaking in Colombia at La Bitcoin Conf, assuming, conferences still want to associate with me. This July, I should be speaking at a conference in LA. And someone just informed me that there is FinTech Week in New York in August. I will try and reach out. Hopefully they haven't seen all my pictures. And maybe I'll be able to speak here in New York at FinTech Week because I kind of know the organizers and I've spoken there last year. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for your donations. Once again, I have a Litecoin address now. Bitcoin is now, thanks to the big blockers, Bitcoin is now useless for microtransactions. If you are going to send me less than $10 donation and you have Litecoin, I would actually prefer it in Litecoin. But otherwise, I'm still getting 50-cent tips, and they do more harm than good. Please hold off. You can, if you feel like tipping me $1 per video, just like tip me at the end of the year, like $20, whatever. You don't even have to. Like, I don't. Tips are totally optional. But thank you to those that have tipped. Tone-based consulting services. I have been making myself available to people fairly quickly. I mean, it's not cheap at 0.1 Bitcoin per hour. So day or night, I mean, I'll accommodate your schedule. I do have a global client base. I'll accommodate your schedule, and we'll talk. I mean, if you want to talk more about this, you want to understand it, you want to know how to protect your Bitcoins. I can't help you set up a miner yet. I haven't gotten there. But all this stuff, like anything within my realm of expertise, if you email me ahead of time and you tell me what you're looking for, I will immediately reply whether I am the person you should be paying to speak to about this. And I've already informed some people saying, you know what, it's really not worth your money to talk to me. Okay. I'm honest on my videos. I'm honest with my clients. All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. So hopefully everything will go smoothly in August. And let me just glance at the price one more time. It looks like we are still going down. We are still going down. Bitcoin is back to the lows of the day. I do think we are going to bounce fairly soon, but in this environment, it's really, really hard. Really hard. I have not sold any of my Bitcoin yet. I will try to hold on to them as long as I can, and hopefully we'll bounce. I mean, come on. A week ago, we watched a $700, $800 fall in price, and we recovered 3 to 4 days later. I think we can all handle that again from a higher level. And I don't even think we're going to fall that much. I think the demand for Bitcoins that were mined pre-August 1st is going to be huge. And I think it's going to be a positive. Now, I also think Litecoin will do fairly well. I'm not going to convert my Bitcoin to it, but that's just my opinion. I know some people already have started. And don't forget, a lot of outside money is coming in. They have no clue what's going on. None. They know nothing about the scaling drama. All they know is Bitcoin's going up and they're buying it. Okay? Completely clueless. I was one of those people in 2013. The first time I bought, like, I don't know, $100 worth of Bitcoin was the same week as the hard fork of 2013. I had no clue. By the time I realized, holy shit, that was bad, it was already over, right? But I held Bitcoin through that. I had no clue what I was doing. And I was literally buying Bitcoin that week. I didn't even know. So yeah, don't expect newbies coming in here and knowing what the hell's going on. All right, guys, I'm sure the chat was insane. I'm gonna stop the video. I will join you in the chat for a few minutes, just for the hell of it. Once the chat catches up, actually. But yeah. But anyway, all right, guys. Thank you much for tuning in. I'm closing out with 240 viewers, significantly less than my last couple of shows. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe it's the time slot. I'll try and do these earlier. I couldn't today, but I'll try and making these earlier in the day to accommodate people watching from Europe. All right. Have a good night. Good luck with your trading. Hopefully Bitcoin will bounce from here. But yes, we are in a 48-hour low. I am looking for a bounce. All right. Bye-bye, guys.